Hi, this is Tom Meeks of the Idea Room 3D blog. I want to demonstrate why I believe the particular object I am using for exploring stringing is really a good example for this kind of test. First, if you'll notice, I have cut the object in half because I'm going to slice one half and so you can see it build up. But you'll notice that the contour always goes up and farther and farther apart. That is, as we build up, the built-up areas will be farther and farther apart out from the center. Let's see how we view this when we get into the slicing mode. The best way to do this is go to the top view. Slice number 1. Now our slices are 250 microns. That's 1/4 of a millimeter. And as you can see, there should be no problem at all with stringing here. Why? Because the head is constantly moving over the entire area. It's not going to be here and then jump to here. It's not going to be here and jump to here. It's actually going to work its way around and work in this area. Slices 2, 3, and 4 are the same in that regard. Now I'm going to turn these on so you can see the slices as they come up. When we get to slice 5, we start to work on the petals. 6 is going to be easier to see. So let's turn that on. There we go. Now we have the differentiation for sure of the petals. And so as the petals print, there is going to be some jumping. It's going to print this object, and then it's got to move over to this object. Now, the thing that we see here is that we don't have a lot of bulk material already laid down. The reason why I believe that we get stringing with more infill is that the object that has been printed holds heat, and that changes the melting point or the characteristics of the melting of the filament as the head moves from one spot to another. And as we see as we grow, we'll go ahead and move up here. We'll be printing these layers. And as you see, as we print these layers, now you'll see some interesting stuff. This is now printing in around this edge, around here, around this edge, and it's got to jump from one to the other. The potential for stringing is there, but we still haven't created a lot of bulk. Let me go to the right view. You'll notice that we're not very high here. We don't have a lot of bulk. And I don't think the heat buildup in the object is as much of a factor at this point as it will be later. Let's go back to the top. And we'll just add layers. I want to get up here where we really got some layers going for us. Notice that the area that we're printing is smaller and smaller, and the jump between the areas is getting wider. So it's got to jump a greater distance from here to here than it did when it was down in one of these layers. All right, we'll do this. Now we're really coming up to the point where we see most of our stringing. As we get up here to the top, two things are happening. A smaller area is being printed, and go right view, more bulk is already printed. So if we have a higher infill, chances are the object is going to be hotter than it might be if it had very low infill or medium infill. And I think, again, that this is one of the reasons we see stringing with more infill. And of course, when we get to the 24th layer, we really have a small point that it's printing and jumping a considerable distance. And I think this is why we see stringing when we do see it between this point and this point, or this point and this point, and around like a spider web. So I hope that explains a little bit why I believe this shape is perfect for exploring stringing. And it also may explain, hopefully, why infill makes a difference.